Hey gang, what's up? Welcome back here to another edition of Intuitive Angling. And man, I really appreciate each and every one of you guys for taking some time to watch the video. I know there's a bunch of YouTube channels out there, so much appreciated you guys spending some time with me on these. Today guys, I'm going to show you my favorite springtime soft plastic color and how you make it. This is something that you can't really buy. You sort of have to make it with some dye, and I'm going to show you guys how to do that, and then I'm going to explain the situations that work in and how I fish. And I've been doing this since 1981 is when I started fishing this particular technique, so I think it's going to add up to some good fish for you guys over the next couple months. Real quick before we get started here, guys, I just want to thank everybody and remind everybody also that have been checking out our View Product Shopping tab. When the video comes on, you'll see a little box at the bottom left. It says View Products, and that's 30 products I put in there every day. I think you guys might check it out. Guys, if you want to help the channel and support it, there's not a better way to do it than to click on those products, check them out, and channel gets 20 cents every time you click twice on one of those products. So much appreciated there. Okay, guys, I'll tell you a little story about how this came about. This came about, I was fishing a Great Plains Pro Bass Association tournament on Stockton Lake in 1981. And I was still, I was 19 years old then. It was my first draw tournament that I ever fished. And I got third place and caught the second big bass of the tournament in it up at Stockton Lake. And what I caught them on there is back in Bassmaster, back in the 70s, they used to sell these things called tube worms. And it was basically, I don't know why they still don't make them. It was basically just a fat plastic worm about as big around as your tail, and it had like a tube on the end of it, almost like the modern day tubes. We called it a tube worm, and it was a black tube worm with a chartreuse tail. And I remember there was just a picture of that in Bassmaster, so I bought a package of them and started fishing it and started just ripping them on it. This was the April tournament that I fished up at Stockton there, Texas rigging that black and chartreuse tube worm. And then I'd been using it ever since. So what I want to show you guys here is the sort of the modern day version and how I do it myself. So anyway, what you're going to need is you're going to need some black dye. I just use the Spike It dye here, and you can get this stuff at Baitworks. I'll include the link in the description here. The black dye is key to this, and then you've got to have your soft plastic, some type of a solid chartreuse. Now you can use a chartreuse pepper. This is just the Zoom Z-Crawl Jr. and the chartreuse, just to show you an example, but there's a lot of different chartreuses out there. This is a pretty bright color. You can also go to a little bit more translucent chartreuse if the water's a little bit cleaner, but for the practical reasons, I'm gonna show you this. So I'll show you guys, it's just real simple. Just take your black dye and dip the main part of the body in it. So you just have your tail showing. And then you've got a black and chartreuse. Of course, I got dye all over me. Black and chartreuse soft plastic. Now you can do this with plastic worms. You can do it with creature baits. You can do it with tubes, whatever on there. And definitely have yourself some Kleenex or some paper towels around, which I don't have here because it'll make a mess. Actually, what you need to do is, like, after you do this, I don't have anything here. Put it on a napkin, and the napkin will absorb some of that before it did. But anyway, guys, this is the setup here. Black body, chartreuse tails. It can be any type of soft plastic. This is just a Zoom Z-Crawl Jr. that I prefer. Guys, this is the color. There's something about it from about mid-March until about the last part of April. From about mid-March to the last part of April. I can't tell you what it is about it, but the bass, the mood and the personality and the phases that they're in that time of year when these water temperatures are pushing 60 degrees, they eat this, guys. They will eat it in a wide range of wide range of conditions. So what you want to look for with that, God, I got a mess everywhere here. What you want to look for here is obviously about 3 foot maximum visibility is the maximum visibility that I use this. I don't really use it in any water over 3 foot clarity. But in most of the lakes across the country, you're looking at anywhere between 1 to 3 feet. So obviously you've got a big diversity of water that this is going to work in. And simply fish it around any other cover that you're fishing. If it's springtime of the year and you're flipping shallow docks, try it on shallow docks, flip it around laydowns, around stumps, flip it in grass beds, just wherever you're fishing. Cast Texas rig. You can rig a shaky head on it. You can take like a Zoom trick worm and do the same thing with the Zoom trick worm. I've got some here, but you can buy a Zoom trick worm like watermelon with a chartreuse tail, where you just have to dip the watermelon part in it. But I can't really explain what it is, but there's just something about it the fish will bite. And also, it works good as a swim jig trailer. You can not just a swim jig trailer, but a jig trailer in general, because the Black and Chartreuse jig trailer is one of my favorite in the springtime of the year. I'll use the Black and Chartreuse jig with the Black and Chartreuse trailer. On a swim jig, you can use the Black and Chartreuse swim jig with the Black and Chartreuse trailer. They just like it. Like I said, I can't sit here and claim to explain intellectually why they bite it. I just know they bite it. So anyway, guys, give it a try. Like I said, Black and Chartreuse is not a real common color, and there's a lot of soft plastic manufacturers out there that don't make a very wide range of the Black with Chartreuse tails, so you sort of have to do it yourself, and it's very easy to do with dye. And another thing that I'll share with you guys here, you can take say a watermelon or green pumpkin, creature bait, anything like that, and you can dip the tail chartreuse in it, then dye it black, and it sort of gives it a different shade and a different hue with that. So just experiment, but basically it's just some level of Black and Chartreuse shade is just going to work really good. And to me, it's all about water temperatures. It's like when that water temperature is 55 to 65 degrees, that's when this works. And to be honest, I don't catch much on it the rest of the year, but there's definitely a window of time where you want to give it a try. So hope that helps you guys catch a few. Just another little trick that I'm sharing with you guys up my sleeve there. This worked for me, and we'll check in later. And thanks for tuning in. See you.